What's up guys, I'm joined by Rich Foge from Undead Labs, who's the design director for State of Decay 2. First of all, can you tell us a little bit about the game?
Yeah, State of Decay is the ultimate zombie apocalypse survival fantasy game where you control the destiny of a community of survivors and explore a dynamic narrative.
Yeah, and there's so much stuff you can do in the game. Because I was playing a bit earlier, we've had a bit of a hands-on session with it. My survivor died, which is a bit heartbreaking to be honest. I thought I took on a bit more than I could chew. What's that kind of cycle people are going to have with their community members? Because for those that haven't played State of Decay 1, what can they expect State of Decay 2? We
try not to make the game brutally hard, but it is a bit unforgiving if you make mistakes. So you have to kind of get into a flow of when you've got a new survivor, making sure that you've taken them out and gotten enough experience with that survivor, built up their skills a little bit, so they're a bit more resilient to being outside, being around the zombies, doing the scavenging runs and things like that. But you can never get complacent, even with a really experienced survivor with well-developed, specialized skills. You can go out there and still, like I think you were messing around with some good sword stuff.
Yes, the sword stuff is amazing, though. So the abilities, because that's actually I want to talk a little bit about the specializations, because there's so many ways that you can take your survivor to kind of change your gameplay.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the best way for people to progress through that system?
Really, you're gonna be able to specialize the skills that you're using. So if you have a survivor that is naturally better at combat, getting out there, using more combat is gonna let you specialize faster. The specializations, once you get them, unlock kind of a new dimension of the combat, but they improve continuously as you continue to use those skills. And then it's nice to round them out. So somebody that's really good on combat, if you stay focused on combat, but then find yourself in a situation where you need to run away, and their cardio's not so good, so you want to make sure that you're focusing on all of the core survival skills, not just one. Otherwise, you might end up in a situation where you can't use your key skill to get out of trouble.
So with the specializations, people will always get two choices once they've fully leveled up the ability to kind of specialize. What's the kind of progression there? Are they able to do it once and then that's their specialization, or are they then able to specialize into more? What's the kind of progression?
You're able to do it once per core survival skill per survivor. And you're obviously managing a group of many survivors, so you're gonna see all of these combinations and how they kind of play out differently. And then you said you had a set of 2. Sometimes you can have a bit more, more options. So it can be up to 4 options, and different survivors will get different access to different skills. So like if you were specialized in combat, you might get swordplay and close combat. Some other survivor might get swordplay and endurance, for instance. So you have different options with the different survivors. You never know what you're gonna get. And then some survivors do get more options. You get 3 of the 4 options or all 4 of them and choose to specialize.
So you've got the home bases as well. How's that going to work in kind of building up your community? With storage of your weapons? How can you expand like your player and your survivor community?
So when you're playing in your base, you have total control over your base, the facilities that are built there, customization of those facilities, and your pool of survivors. Like the set of people you have a lot more control this time around over who joins your community, and if you find yourself in a situation where you don't like a particular individual in your community, you can exile them as well. And then in multiplayer, you still have access to all of your things. So if you join somebody else's game as a guest, you still have access to your supply locker, all of the resources. You have access to all of your survivors. You can switch them out anywhere that the host would be able to at a base or at an outpost. The only thing you're not doing at that point is you're working on your base.
Okay, so you've got your whole entire base, you're kind of still gathering all the materials and everything. So you're going out to kind of gather materials to improve your base. What other things can players get up to in the game?
There are other human enclaves that you're going to encounter in the game that have their own personal agendas, things that they're trying to accomplish. They're potentially hostile human enclaves that you're going to encounter in the world, and that can be a little bit of trouble depending on whether or not they're squatting on some resources that you want or a base that you wanted to settle. They tend to like the nice stuff. Your survivors are going to have personal objectives that they want to accomplish. Once you kind of move past basic survival, people still have needs. They're still human. They're still interested in like, I want to go out and find a really good bottle of booze or things like that, right? Like,
you can't help it. If you find a good old bottle of whiskey.
There are going to be ambient missions that pop up in the world. People that you haven't met before that are looking for some help or to ambush you, depending. There's so much to do in the game: driving, shooting, scavenging, building up your base, interacting with other human survivors. It's crazy.
I was actually playing with Alex and Ross on the multiplayer, and it's so seamless how you get into it. You can just hop on and then hop into anyone's world. Can you tell us a little bit more how, for those that haven't played it before, how it's going to work in State of Decay 2 for people just hopping on for the first time to play with their friends?
So the experience you had, if you've got friends who are playing the game, they're already in your friends list. It's very easy to jump into a menu, pop in and say, I want to send out invites to these folks, and if they accept, they're in. It's, like you said, seamless. There are also options for finding sort of other people that you don't know.
Yep.
There's a volunteer system where you can say, look, I want to jump into multiplayer, I don't care who I'm playing with, I want to get some cool rewards, and I just want to help somebody out. And then on the flip side of that, another player can shoot a flare up into the air and say, look, I need help. And we do some matchmaking right there, find that pool of volunteers, and they jump into your game. So now you're playing with some random folks who hopefully...
will come and save your bacon rather than it's like watch you die.
Yeah, well, that would be pretty bad, but it could happen.
I had a great blast doing it. The progression on there though, because one of the big things I noticed is not everyone's fighting for the same loot, not everyone's fighting for the same resources.
Right.
How's that going to work?
So when you join somebody else's game, we don't allot things already in the game to you.
Yep.
We instead add things that are specific to you or the other players that are joining the game. Because we didn't want to take away anything from players who were inviting folks into their game. So you have your own loot, anybody else has their own loot, and then once you've gone through those containers and found stuff, you can share it with each other. So everybody can still kind of open up and say like, oh, I found this really cool weapon. You interested in this? Yeah, here, check it out. You could trade and check that out.
Amazing. So Game Pass is obviously pretty exciting
as
well.
Yeah, super exciting.
It's going to open up to people playing it on day one, the same day that the game launches. So if they've got Game Pass, when it comes out, they can play State of Decay 2.
Absolutely.
As a developer, is that exciting to work with, knowing that there's going to be a load more people trying the game for the very first time?
Oh, 100%. It is so exciting to know that there's an option out there for people who already have Game Pass and are experiencing these great first-party exclusives through Microsoft and Xbox that are going to have direct access to the game. It grows our community, which gives players more multiplayer opportunities, right? You're going to have more people that are going to be playing the game, more people that you potentially align with philosophically or how you like to play games, especially in State of Decay, you know, style and approach can make a pretty big difference. So I'm really excited to be part of Game Pass.
We've also obviously been playing on the Xbox One X here. I want to talk a little bit about Xbox One X enhancements because the game looks incredible. What enhancements are people going to have when playing on the Xbox One X?
We were able to push the game graphically quite a bit more on the Xbox One X, better lighting, enhanced things like foliage and systems that kind of give more detail to the world and make it look a lot better. Frame rate's obviously quite a bit better on the Xbox One X as well.
Yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on it. Thank you very much for talking to us as well.
I really appreciate
We're going to show loads of gameplay, lots of stuff coming up on State of Decay 2, so make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new, drop a thumbs up and let us know what you think down in the comments below. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I want to go play some more.
All right.